Structured data includes structured information stored in databases and unstructured information contained in documents. Previously, text information was available to users only through full-text search tools, for example using a corporate portal. The advent of LLM, large language models, allows using text information more widely. You can create an interactive assistant that will answer all questions whose answers are contained in the text of documents. The assistant can find fragments of documents that contain the answer to the question and formulate an answer in the form of a short summary. There are two approaches to creating such assistants. You can retrain and fine-tune LLM using all company documents. Since retraining is slow and requires hardware resources, fresh information will become available with some delay. With this approach, the LLM will not be able to accurately identify the source of the answer to each question. To overcome these shortcomings, RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, is used. RAG is an approach in which it first searches for fragments of text that contain information important for answering the question. These fragments are then used as the context by which LLM builds a response. With this approach, new documents immediately become searchable, and for any answer, you can always indicate the source from which it was received. This technology can be used to create customer self-service tools. For example, a client can ask questions in a mobile application or on a website that require assistance from a company employee or specially developed functionality to answer. Let's say a bank client asks, "What is my average monthly payment for all loans?" To give an answer, you need to use information from the bank's core system database. This task is also solved by RAG. To form the context, an algorithm is used that extracts the necessary data from the database and aggregates it. However, classic RAG has its limitations. Answers may not be informative enough if a complete answer requires combining information from different parts of various documents or database records, or if the question concerns several interrelated entities. In such cases, a corporate knowledge graph is used to prepare the context, which combines information about objects and events. Let's say we need to analyze data about incidents processed by the technical support service. Each incident can be associated with a specific information system, server, user, or department, business process. There are cause and effect relationships between incidents and their consequences, functional dependencies between elements of the IT infrastructure. All this information must be extracted from the incident texts and the configuration database and placed in a graph. Based on the data from the graph, we can form a context that will allow LLM to answer questions about the consequences of incidents. In addition, information from the graph can be used for clustering, automatic incidence routing, and detection of mass failures. This scenario shows an example of how you can combine structured data and text to get the most informative answers. You can use RAG in this way directly in the EKG platform interface. You can ask any questions that can be answered based on the contents of the database. The system recognizes mentions of the object types, relationships, and specific objects, and generates queries to the knowledge graph. Then, the system builds a context, obtains an LLM response to the user's question, and supplements it with links to specific database objects. The questions can contain references to the several related entities. In such cases, The graph path search is performed first to find connections between these items and enrich the context. There are also more complex text processing tasks. One of them is searching for duplications and contradictions between different documents. This is useful both for improving the quality of corporate standards and regulatory documents, as well as for automating the control of compliance of contracts and agreements with current corporate rules. We have considered several scenarios for using LLM for processing corporate data. Each scenario has its own technique. To search among the contents of corporate documents, the classic RAG with search by document fragments is used. Customer self-service tools and chatbots can be created using RAG over the contents of databases. The tasks of analyzing object relationships, such as processing technical support incidents, are better solved with RAG using a knowledge graph. In tasks where it is necessary to analyze the meaning of statements, for example, to control the content of corporate documents and automate the compliance, the knowledge graph is supplemented by a conceptual layer. The latest, most mature version of RAG can be used to solve any data processing tasks using LLM. This will improve the quality of the results obtained. All these variants of the RAG approach are implemented on the Datavera EKG platform. We will be happy to discuss your tasks and offer solutions for them.